Hey guys, it's Adam Palma here from Secret Coast Outdoors, and today I'm going to be replacing the fuel filler hose on my 2014 Ranger RT178 bass boat. And what it is, it's the hose that I use when I fill up my fuel tank. Okay, when I go to the gas station and I want to put gas in it, okay, it's the hose that goes from right here, the filler upper area, into my tank. And over time, this hose has worn out, it's gotten old, and it's created a crease in it. And when I go to fill it up, the gas just spews back out. I have to fill extremely slow. So what I'm doing is I am replacing that so I can get back to the good old days where I can just fill it up super fast. What we need to replace this part is I purchased a new fuel filler hose straight from Amazon. I went to like O'Reilly Auto Parts and AutoZone. They wanted $80 for these. Amazon, the exact same model, $35. You're going to need a hacksaw to cut your hose, a 10mm socket for the worm gears, and a measuring tape so I know how long I need to make my hose. So, first thing I got to do is I got to lower this and get into the battery compartment. So let me do that and we can get on to the next step. Alright, so this heavier hose is the hose that we are going to be replacing. This smaller hose is my vent hose. And you can see right here, okay, this plastic tubing is what I put. I tried to just do a quick fix and I tried to stiffen it up. This is old vacuum hose tubing that I put on top of it to try to maybe stiffen up to where it's creasing. Let me see if I can get back here with the camera. I don't know if you can see too well. But back there, back behind that red wire is where that crease is, and it's not letting my fuel flow easily into my tank. You can also see there's a set of worm clamps up there that I'm going to have to loosen with my 10mm socket up at the top. Then I'm going to have to loosen these two right here, right at my fuel tank, and then I should be able to pull it right out. Alright, so I've got my hose removed from the tank where it matches up, and next what I need to do to get to the back side of this hose is I can undo this cap right here with a Phillips screwdriver, and I should be able to get to those other worm clamps easily and to where that vent hose is as well. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. This one needs a couple more turns. Alright, now should be able to manipulate this to come out. So give me just a second and I'll have this pulled out for you. Alright, so now that we've got this out, I can hook back up my 10mm socket, undo these worm gears, and I can remove this old hose and get rid of the problem. Comes off easily. You can see right there how it creases like that, and it's not allowing gas to flow through, so I should just be able to pull this all the way out and I can replace it with a new one. Alright, so now it's time for me to cut my new fuel line. My new fuel line here is the one with the painter's tape. I used painter's tape to mark where I needed to, and then when I cut it, it'll leave a nice cut because this new hose has wires inside of it, metal spring to keep it from collapsing. So I just went with the good old laid them side by side to measure that way. But for those of you that must know, using a measuring tape, it measures out to roughly 29.5 inches. Okay, and you don't have to be too exact doing this because you got a little wiggle room playing with the tank and how far you can push the hose on to the sleeve and things like that. So this should be to where I can bottom the hose out to the gas tank and all the way up to my fuel filler cap. So I'm going to put this on the vise and then we're going to get to cutting it. Alright, nice and smooth. And you can see the reason we had to use that hacksaw, whoo, that's hot, is because of that spring right there. Any other saw, you don't want it kicking back on you. That's pretty dangerous. So make sure that you have it in a vise and you're using safety precautions there. Alright, so this little excess spring or wire that popped out when I was cutting it with my hacksaw, I'm going to use a pair of lineman's pliers to cut this off. Again, you never know, these little pieces of metal could spring out and shoot you, so make sure you're wearing some eye protection. And a nice little clip, and I can just tuck that under, and beautiful. It's ready to be installed. Alright, so I'm tightening these worm clamps, and then I should be able to slide this new fuel hose right back through my fuel filler hole, and I can reattach the vent hose right back onto my cap. Alright, so we've put the hose back through the hole where the fuel filler cap was, fed it through, and now the next step is to attach our new hose right here to the gas tank, directly to it. Before you slide this on, do not forget to put on your worm clamps. Okay, you do that, and you're going to have to start all over. Okay, so let me tighten this one up. Got both of these on. Ranger. I'm going to slide this back on. And I'll tighten these back up. And then the last step, all we'll have to do is screw down the fuel filler cap with those 4 Phillips screws, and we are good to go. Alright, so the last step to do is screw in these 4 screws to my fuel filler cap, and I'll be done. And I'm doing it as if I were installing a tire on my vehicle. I'm doing it in a pattern to where I do them all a couple turns at a time, star pattern. So I just can ensure that it gets down there nice and even, nice and smooth. So then that way no water or anything can come underneath this. So once these 4 are screwed in all the way, we will be complete, and I will finally be able to fuel up my boat at full speed. I'll have nothing to worry about. So, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we also have an Instagram, Secret Coast Outdoors. Leave a comment, tell us what you'd like to see, or if you need any other how-tos. Thanks for watching.